Sally. My name is Zenzi. That's my chosen name. My payroll name is Deb Helfrich. I'll give you my website. A few days ago, I will be honored to talk. I think we got at least one evolutionary article. But really, I would really, I've only skimmed. What if it's possible to sort the hard problem of consciousness into an easy pivot? I am the developer of the philosophical hypothesis of bio-electromagnetism. A Carnegie Mellon degreed philosopher who spent 2 decades as a Silicon Valley software consultant, payroll implementation software. Then I moved to Seattle. There was mold behind the walls, and I lost nearly 90% of my capacity to walk and talk in my 40s. When I turned 50, I self-engineered a Kundalini awakening. Too bad we don't have a term in this culture, but that is a burst of bioelectric conductivity that happens without any actual electronics involved. I should have got out my tools, but I'll just tell you about them. We can't let the faulty, flawed, and fraudulent paradigms of the whiteness thought tradition past approximately 500-600 years of the Western thought tradition is grievously evil. Colonization. I'm trying to bring the wise feminine to the world on behalf of all 8 billion of us. Bioelectromagnetism is half of human functioning. There's mechanical, chemical. But the electrical and magnetic, I'd suspect they're nowhere near the magnetism. We'll start with, here's the science. Rupert Sheldrake. Deepak Chopra says he will be recognized one day on the same level as those of Newton and Darwin. Just gave back Darwin's ghost, Rebecca Stott. You probably know her, so great. Anyway, morphic fields, morphic resonance. Really very crucial. It's electromagnetism, right? And if you have any access to any of the ancient wisdom traditions, all this Shiva Shakti, 1 is 2 is 2 is 1 is 1 is 2 is 2 is 1, it's circuitry. Now, what I want to do is preempt having bioelectricity owned by one company, patents and everything, and share the DIY aspects of it with all 8 billion people. Gonna need a lot of proof. Planta sapiens, the new science of plant intelligence. There's no brains. It's bioelectromagnetism going on here. We will go to Deepak himself. I don't know. We'll see. Nothing to say there, really. I want to keep going on to science. I think this is the best way to approach this. Stealing fire. Now, Silicon Valley, the Navy SEALs, and maverick scientists are revolutionizing the way we live and work. Stephen Kotler, who, great writer, great science. Science, yeah, pretty much. And he partners with Peter Diamandis of the X Prize. A lot of on abundance and various things. Now, in here, and all these seals and valleys and everything. Page 75, it talks about Oprah and Eckhart Tolle. New World as the largest spiritual gathering, outdoing the Pope. Anyway, altered states of consciousness. You know, I look in your book, and in the index, collagen, consciousness, 2 pages. You know, I know it's You know, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm perplexed. I do want to read the book, but I feel like we should talk before I read the book for an article. Then we could Zoom and go over the book. Let me throw you a couple more. I'm going quick. I'm just trying to say it all. Okay. The universe in one atom. The Dalai Lama. You see, we need the philosophy. We need the accurate hypotheses. And we need, and this is why I'm looking for an article, why it's really important. I need to write my first book. Just titled Placebo Power to the People. It's Biology of Belief, Bruce Lipton, Mind Over Medicine, Lissa Rankin, and My Stroke of Insight, Jill Bolt Taylor. Those are the comparables. You know, as a philosopher, what I'm telling you is that I experienced self-engineering my own bioelectromagnetism to stay alive, to regain both the ability to walk and talk. I'm autistic AF and was morbidly obese from 1 to 51. My capacity to think through bioelectromagnetism by myself, I evaporated 150 pounds in the 15 months after turning 50. Of course, there's pictures. Not very many, because I'm alone in the world. I have 2 YouTube channels where I've demonstrated rewiring my brain. You can see the streamlining of the body a little bit. And I resolved most of it. Then I became homeless in the pandemic because nobody listens to a philosopher. Nobody believes things that aren't backed by corporations. How are we going to solve global warming if we can't think as one species? I did use cannabis, which is a plant, not a drug. We have an endocannabinoid system. You see how me and bioelectromagnetism, I went as a philosopher, as a generalist. As far as consciousness itself goes, I'm a strange loop. Douglas Hofstadter also wrote Gödel, Escher, Bach. And him and his friend Daniel Dennett, is the leading philosopher of consciousness when you're talking about out into the public. I want to be out into the public, not do science. That's why this is a very lucrative opportunity. I've pitched, Stephen Kotler, a number of journalists. But we're on the same bioelectromagnetism wavelength. For the first few years, I did bioelectricity, because everyone told me to be brief. Over this past year of homelessness, I've been here doing research at my local Carnegie Library. And, all of these books, I'm a long-form content person. The internet doesn't do me well. This is a philosopher, David Abram, The Spell of the Sensuous. Perception and language in a more than human world. But this is also very much about we have thought ourselves to be far less than we are. The 7 billion humans who are, because again, all the billionaires, they're paying for the venture capitalism, and they want to serve 1 billion people. What goes unsaid is the richest billion, which leaves 7 billion who need placebo tools for the people. As Ben Franklin has his kites and keys, it was tuning forks, frequency. They are tools that allowed me to understand frequency. It allowed me to rewire my own brain like a stroke victim from a toxic mold exposure. It's a great story. And I want to perform it. #StandUpPhilosophy. I need one big article. I'm the real deal, but of course I am living in trauma as a homeless person. That's what the Deepak's about. I'm trying to get to the Chopra Center. A little Ayurveda. Clean me right up. Okay, that's all. I have a toxic mold exposure, and I am autistic. Part of autism spectrum traits is hyperlexia. I also have selective mutism and what's called PDA, which they call pathological demand avoidance, which I believe is 100%. I could have this tested. Physiological demand avoidance. I really need help. Nonlinear thinking is becoming a big topic. Another article you could write. Entirely a concentric thinker. I need help. And we will have a fantastic time. I'm telling you. The 2 different perspectives on looking at bioelectricity. And always with the tantalization, in my case, of bioelectromagnetism. Magnetism. Biomagnetism. I'm going to be founding the #WellbeingPhilosophy Institute to make clear, creative, anti-racist, life-centric thinking about human energy, potential well-being, it's body, mind, and soul, a necessary global public good. Sure, he is a writer. Been actually looking for my Plato, is she Socrates of the 2020s. Looking for my Watson. as the she Sherlock of human functioning. So all this science, I've done it using my own thinking equipment. That's the promise of bioelectromagnetism. I challenge you. Open mind, flexible brain, open heart. There's a lot here. Definitely one article. But maybe much, much more. Harmony.